What's up, besties?
What's up? I'm Jenna.
And I'm Marissa.
And welcome back to Crazy as a Mother Pod.
Where life happens.
Best friends help.
And a coffee doesn't hurt. How you doing?
I'm good.
Who's asking? Listen, I'm so tired. I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Because my son woke up, had to take care of some business, and then he didn't want to go back to sleep, and continued to wake the whole house up at 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, Travis got up at 4. And then the other ones were up by 5:15. I don't know what's in the water with these kids.
No, and the crazy thing about Michael is during the week, he's like the last one normally to get up for school. But then today, he was like wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. And then Bryn scared the shit out of me. I'm in the family room. Everything's dark. We had just put on the Jeffrey Dahmer. I called him the wrong name. I was trying to tell Mike this. Yeah, I was trying to tell Mike the story, and I kept saying it wrong, too. So she has this blanket wrapped around her like this, and all I see is this dark shadow staring at me. I was like, what the fuck is that? And she goes, it's me, Mommy. I was like, Bryn, you scared the shit out of me.
It doesn't help that it's spooky season, and like I've been binging all my horror stuff. So like if I saw my kid, I'd be like, what the fuck?
And it was so dark, but like, oh, dude, she's like standing. I'm like, what are you, like in The Shining? Like, Jesus.
Oh, with the red rum.
Is that the one with the two girls?
The two girls holding hands. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, kids are creepy. Kids and nuns. I don't know the two. Well, I'll say this for our Halloween episode to get more details. But those two things always are just like the fucking scariest.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
So, especially if it's a spooky nun.
Yeah, like the movie The Nun.
I've never seen it.
Yeah?
No.
Me and I meant you've never seen it, like confirming.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I should have said no.
I've never seen it.
No.
Yeah. You didn't even say yeah. You're like, maybe. We'll know. When we post it.
To the
But you're like, yeah. Did you see that? No, yeah.
I'm so dumb. Me and Justin have been going through the Conjuring movies. So
hell no.
Well, that's one of them. The Nun is part of it. So it's like Conjuring 1, 2, 3, but they're all linked like with the same demon with Ed and Lorraine Warren. So they have like someone put them in order of how you should watch them, in the order of like events that take place, not like in order of their release, like in order of events. So we've been doing that. We go through the movies.
I want to comment so much on that, but we are definitely having.
Yeah,
like we're doing. Yeah, so I gotta be.
But the point I was just getting to is we watched The Nun, and it just made me so uncomfortable. It wasn't like freaky scary, but it like takes place in an abandoned monastery.
I'm getting like the chills.
Yeah.
I can't do. Like I can watch horror. Like Freddy versus Jason, like all that.
Creepers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't freak me out. But as soon as it becomes like spiritual and like demonic, especially like Satan's work, like that shit freaks me out.
I think that's why I like watching it, because it does in fact scare the crap out of me.
Yeah, I don't like it though, because then I can't sleep.
Yeah.
Like when the lights are dark, or like if my kid wakes up in the middle of the night, just like wakes up, I'll be like, or something. What's going on? Like, and I just like will take my phone and flash it and be like, why are you looking at me like that? And they're just like, Mommy,
stop it. Announce your presence. Kids are the creepiest.
Oh God.
But yeah, so this coffee tastes great. It's the first time I'm having it today, and it's a dreary day. It's a dreary day, which I don't think helps anything. Like, I feel like it's exerting a lot of energy just to sit and record, because I just want to be cuddled up in a blanket.
Oh my God, I know. I'm not going to lie. I felt that. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this today. But I know, like, once we get going.
Oh, yeah.
I love it, but just, like, getting here. But really, it's not that bad. I thought it was going to be way worse today.
No, it's not bad.
But speaking of creepy kids.
Oh, yeah.
Who's ready for the ho damn moment?
Let's get it.
Can we make that a song? Like, ho, damn.
I like it.
Oh, shit.
I'm sure Justin can do it. Our IT guy can probably do it.
I love how we're just talking about demons too, and it's like running on coffee and Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's why you need Jesus, because you're watching so many
demons.
Get away from me, demon child.
I like to be prepared. I want to know what the worst is out there, so now I know. I've been taught a lot of things, how to defend myself.
I mean, that's right. Are we doing, who wants to go first?
You go first.
Okay, so, I don't know why I always have to say, like, I made a title. Okay, I have a title. It is To the Window, to the Wow. So, today, so actually happened this morning with being up way early. I decided to make a big breakfast. We've been so busy that I haven't really done, like, a good breakfast. So, we all have our breakfast, cleaning it up, and then I decide to look in the, like, because I have my kitchen and my dining room's there. I decide to, like, just peek into the dining room. And here's Michael, literally with the window open and down and halfway out. And I was like, oh my gosh! Get back here! So I think he was, like, outside running around, and we didn't know. Or it was right before he was about to do it. And then he got so mad because we just locked the windows, like, completely. So note to self, keep your friggin' windows locked, because sooner or later your child will figure out that. I didn't even know he could do that. He, like, I guess he, like, lifted up and, like.
We learn something new every day.
Oh, my God.
I
was like, oh, damn.
I think we should have called it, like, escape artists. These. Yeah. So mine's not, well, it's not recently, because I don't want to say my kids have behaved normal. They're never normal, but nothing has stood out this past week. But this happened a little bit ago, right about when, like, summer was kind of winding down. But I put the kids up for a nap, and I had left. I actually think I left to go meet you to get our nails done, now that I think about it.
I miss our nail days.
So, so when I got home, Justin actually told me this. He's like, you're never going to believe this. So I put the kids up for a nap, and Justin and his dad were outside in the backyard. And he said, you know, they're there and they hear, like, muffled sounds. And like, what is that? And Travis and Wyatt are coming around my house, down around the side of the house to the backyard. So Justin thought I was home. So he came and checked for me, and I'm not home. So here, they got out of their room, got out of the front door. The two of them, two little short shits, came around the front. Thank God, came to the back. I'm like, oh my God. And then that reminded me, because when I was young, like around their age, I ran away. So.
Oh my God, yeah. My mom said I got out when I was younger than that. I was like 2. I think she said I just turned 2.
Where'd you go? Did you go anywhere good?
I went to my grandma's house.
Yeah, I went to the playground.
Yeah.
See? I was 18 months.
I think I was between 18 months and 2 years old. My mom was, this when we lived down in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
And she was in the basement doing laundry. And she said all of a sudden she saw my little feet run. And my grandma lived like 2 to 4 houses down. So she lived on the same block.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just went to, I was like, Abuelita.
You're just coming down.
Yeah. Like knocking on the door. Like, I want to play.
My mom said that we were having a birthday party, I think for my grandmom. And this is when we lived in Oxford Circle. And every night my parents took me to the playground, which was, it was down. You had to cross over Arrett. Like, you had to cross Arrett, then Large, and it was, like, down there. So she said that, and, like, it was one of those things where everyone was like, oh, who has the baby? And my dad's like, oh, I think Scooter has her. And Scooter's like, oh, no, I think she's downstairs with the cousins. And after about an hour or so, they realized that I wasn't there.
Oh, my God.
So, like, my parents went next door because we had neighbors. I called them Grandmom Jen and Grandpa Bal, just elderly neighbors that were like grandparents. So they checked there because I go there. I used to go there after my mom got home from work, and I wasn't there. So my mom was like, if you know my mom, and any mom, because she's like, I was just picturing your face on a milk carton. Like, I was so scared. And then they found me. My uncle went to the playground, and I was trying to push a kid off a swing so I could get on the swing. I'm a creature of habit. Things haven't changed in 31 years. I like to keep routine.
That's my swing.
Get off my swing.
Oh, my God.
Sorry. But, well, speaking of Michael, jumping into the topic of the day.
Yeah, our topic of the day is autism and
Autism awareness.
Yeah, autism awareness, autism acceptance, everything autism. So.
You want to start with Michael?
Yeah, I'll start with Michael. I got some notes because I don't want to get off track. Sorry, I know maybe I shouldn't even say that, but like sometimes I just feel like when I'm on the spot, I can't. I just go like mind
It's like
blank.
nervous blubber, I feel like.
Actually, I think I'll be fine because I really like what I wrote. So I started noticing Michael was delayed around like 18 months old. He wasn't really like talking or anything. But when Evelyn was that age, she wasn't really saying much. She didn't have much of a vocabulary, and Michael's a twin. So I didn't, and Bryn wasn't speaking either. So I'm like, I wasn't crazy worried about it. And then it was when he turned 2 that I noticed the regressions of him, like not making eye contact, not really responding to his name. Then he would really go off and like play by himself a lot, and we would just say like, oh, Michael's in his own little worlds. And that was July of 2018. And it was just scary as a mother. Like, I'm like, what's going on? Is everything okay? He was evaluated by early childhood intervention. Like, I think it was like September, like the fall of 2018. And that's basically when we were like, oh my goodness, because he was developmentally delayed, speech delayed, which Bryn is as well, and then cognitively delayed as well. He had basically all the checkpoints for having autism, but they can't diagnose that young. They recommend to not do it that young, but also they're just not able to make the diagnosis. Everything but his fine motor skills, or not fine motor skills, his motor skills in general, because if you know Michael Mann, he's like Spider-Man. That kid's literally like climbing everywhere, and he is, what is the word? Is it agile? Is that the word? Like when you're like, he's like so like a fox, like can walk any little beam with such amazing balance. It's incredible to watch. That's awesome. Not if you're his grandmother. Sorry, my mom. She's like, Michael, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
She gets so scared. So at that point, that's when, like, it was just hard. Like, he started having night terrors, which I thought they were night terrors, but really, they're not. They're just, I think it's just, like, sensory overload and, like, sensory processing disorder. And not being able to communicate his wants or needs. So it's just like overstimulation. And a lot of times it would happen at night. So he would be tired. He wants to go to sleep, but his body and his brain wouldn't let him. But so then, I still feel like I'm all over the place. And then we got our final diagnosis in June of 2018. And even though like I knew he had autism, just hearing it and being consumed by the fears of, will my child ever speak? Will he be accepted by family members? Will he be accepted by society? What will his peers think? What will his siblings think? How's everyone going to react? One of my biggest fears is what happens when I die. Like, what if I get into a freak accident? I'm not here. Like, who's going to take care of him? Who's going to love him? And really just stepping into this world of the unknown that we never expected to be on.
Yeah.
And also grieving the life that we thought we were going to have with him. But how about you? Do you want to say your start and then we can dive in more?
Yeah, so Travis was about 18 months old when we noticed the thing that my mom called it, because I'm pretty like, maybe I've gotten better, but I'm like so laid back. I'm like, yeah, it's fine, like don't worry about it with certain things. And Travis has always been Travis, who is also a twin, has always been slightly behind Wyatt, like sitting, crawling, walking. So he's always been a little back behind him, and he didn't baby babble. much. Some things, but like he didn't really. He cooed when, you know, like they're like infants, like 6, 7, like even when they're little, like, you know, like when you put them on their lap and they go, oh, like just make funny noises. He did that when he was an infant, but he didn't baby babble much at all. And Wyatt was baby babbling a lot, like at the appropriate age. So I was like, oh, you know, he's got 2 brothers, and like they probably just talk enough for him, like he doesn't feel the need to talk. Because I heard that could be something. Like my younger brother didn't speak at all, and then when he spoke, he was in sentences just because he didn't feel the need to speak. I was a big talker, so I just spoke for the both of us. Mm-hmm. But my mom is opposite of me. Like she's a worrywart. So, and we clash sometimes. And she'd be like, Jen, like, I think there's something wrong. Like, you probably should get his hearing checked. And she's like, you know, I just, like, he seems like he zones out. Like, I try to call him, and he doesn't answer me anymore. And he did. He used to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I was like, no, Mommy's, like, fine. Like, he probably just doesn't want to whatever. Honestly, probably just because we just clashed. So, like, if my mom tells me something, sometimes I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah. We just used to have those conflicting personalities. But then my dad, when I was over the one time, I think they were babysitting for us. And my dad's like, Jen, like, I'm kind of worried about him. Like, and he did it. We were standing there and he's like, Travis, Trav. And like calling him. And he's looking our direction. And at one point he walked over because he wanted to do something. But it just like, it was like we didn't exist. Mm-hmm. Like he didn't hear us. So I was like, okay. So, we went for his 18-month checkup, and which was, I think it was in March or April. I think it was the beginning of March. And of March of, what would that be, 2021? We're in 2022 now? Yeah, 2021. They were born in 2019. 2020 would be a year. 2021, yeah. Yeah. March 2021. And
That's crazy. They're 3 already.
I know. And then when I took him to his appointment, and we were like, they do the checkbox thing, the milestones, and so I already told the nurse, I was like, hey, I just want to talk to the doctor about getting baby's hearing checked because he doesn't seem to be like hearing things like he used to. And then when we did the checklist, the doctor looked at it, and he's quite a decent amount of delay. She's like, you know, I think we might be dealing with something more than hearing loss. She's like, I think we really should check the hearing first, and then consider getting him evaluated for autism. And more so at that point for him was a lot of emotional things that he does. Like I'm sorry. So March 26th of 2021, I took him to get his hearing test. His hearing was fine. And then by July, he was officially diagnosed. He was diagnosed young. So I think because we were in different counties, the youngest that they diagnosed in Philadelphia is 18 months.
Yeah, I think they can when they talked to me at 18 months, because the doctor actually said something like, maybe we should get their hearing checked or this or that for both of them. And I wasn't really that worried about it. Like, it was in the back of my mind. And then I start like, because at that point he was still looking. Like, we have pictures when we went down the shore, like that June before he turned 2. And I would say, like, Michael, cheese. And he's looking right at the camera. Yeah. And, like, fine. And then that's when, like, after we moved, and, because we were still in Philly then. So after we moved, that's when it just really, like, overnight, it was just, like. Yeah. Like, the regressions were just rapidly coming at us. And we're like, what's going on?
Gotcha. Yeah, so he was diagnosed with global developmental delay and autism. So global developmental delay qualified him to get early intervention services, to get evaluated for early intervention services, I should say. His autism diagnosis guaranteed him services. So, but yeah, the big thing was he stopped answering his name. He didn't make eye contact. You couldn't, like, I remember, like, some things I had to hold his cheeks and make him look at me. Yep. And a lot of what got him diagnosed that early was a lot of his emotional things. So, like, for example, we took him to the car, and we took all my kids to the carnival, and Justin had to hold him, squeeze him tight and hold him the whole time, because he was rocking back and forth. He was overstimulated. He was overstimulated by I think the combination of the lights and the sound together. Yeah. It was too much for him. So that was an example that had already happened. He was doing the spinning.
This like the stimming?
Spinning as one of his stims. Yeah. He would spin, like he was doing that kind of stuff. But
does he hand flap?
He never hand flapped.
Oh my god, Michael hand flaps all the time.
No,
there's this one Autism Mom I follow, and she has a shirt that says "Everybody flap your hands."
That's awesome.
And I'm like, I need to buy that. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So like stuff like that. Pretty much his like he kept to himself. He played by himself. Didn't interact with other kids. Didn't interact with his brothers. As far as like the school aspect, but he was we didn't hit the emotional, like behavioral until he got older. So as far as like he's always just been so happy, and like you tickle him and he's got the best laugh in the world, and that was never like a red flag. So honestly, I went through a point, and then I'll take a break and switch it back. But I went through a point like because he got diagnosed so early, I almost went through a point of like feeling guilty because I felt like we were taking another kid's space. Like it was weird because I'm like, well, what if I did this too early? Like, what if and like ignorant of me, I'm like, what if I just mislabeled my son and like he didn't need this label, like, and I'm making his life harder. I'm gonna set him up for not a good chance, like all this kind of stuff. And then as he got older, it was very clear that it just because he got diagnosed so young, there were some things that needed time to come out.
Yeah.
And
well, even for us, like I feel like this conversation is going to be just a pure example of the autism spectrum, because Travis and Michael are so different yet so similar. If that makes sense. Like you're saying, when he was like 18 months, he started with the emotional behaviors, and Michael didn't start that until he turned 2 in July. And it wasn't until that fall we started seeing it, but by that Christmas. So he was like 2.5. So by 2.5, that's when like he's not sleeping at all. And then he started like biting. And then the head banging and then like the rocking back and forth. So all of that started for him younger. He was also baby babbling, so that's why I had no fear that he was going to be nonverbal.
Right.
Because I'm like, or even that he was like delayed at like at 18 months. I'm like, dude, this kid is walking around babbling all the time.
Right.
He also walked and everything before Bryn.
Yes.
So he did every single thing before Bryn, and I had like, there was like no
Bryn is Michael's twin.
Fear in my mind. Like I just didn't. I was like, like the doctor's like overanalyzing him right now, or like the whole label thing. Like you just want to label my child, and I'm like, just like kids be kids, let them grow up at their own pace. And then I'm telling you, it was literally like night and day. Then that's when what we noticed first was him being like in his own little world. That was like the most like what's going on, because he used to be very active with his siblings too. And like wanting to play with them.
Okay.
And he just stopped. Like he just didn't want to. And yeah, it was just like, I don't know. I feel like it's a lot. Like, because Michael's 6 now. He's still nonverbal. He has said words very inconsistently. Like I think in his 6 years he said mom probably less than 10 times. So those times that he has said mom, it's like, oh my goodness. But we went from like 2 years ago. Oh my god, it is. Like he said mom a few weeks ago and I cried. Oh my god, I was like sobbing. I think it was July or August.
Sorry, I was trying to be rude. My mom was calling me, and I just to let her know we were recording.
I know, and then my phone went off too.
I'm just like not listening to this. So let her know. Moms worry.
Yes, they do. Now my brain's like, huh? I don't remember what I was saying. I don't know.
I wanted to jump back to you because another thing with Travis was, I called them night terrors too. And then I just started calling them like night episodes because it's the same thing.
Literally the same thing I did.
So it's not like he would wake up blood curdling screaming and unconsolable, like,
and it's like they weren't even there either. Like, was Travis like that? Because Michael, you would look at it in his eyes and it would look like he's not even there. Like he was still, like his brain was still sleeping or whatever. Like if that makes sense. Like he was so like just not present.
Yeah, but at least for Travis, he was physically upset, and then after like it would take him sometimes quick, like maybe like 30 seconds to a minute, sometimes 5 to 10 minutes. Like Travis, one of his things is squeezing.
Yeah.
He loves to be squeezed. It's like the number one thing that they can do at school. Like it's still his favorite. Like I would squeeze him and hold him and rock him. And then you can feel their body like not be tense.
Yeah.
So it depends. Like sometimes he would still be crying, but he would at least like tense. Sometimes soon, sometimes later. But he was always like just screaming, crying, and like that kind of. I hate that. It breaks my heart. But Travis, like Marissa said, Travis and Michael are very similar, very different. Travis is verbal. Mm-hmm. He can talk about just things that he wants. I mean, you can't like go having a conversation, ask him how school was, but like he'll tell you, I want banana, I want strawberry, I want whatever. And he I call him Rain Man because he knows. We're very, very, very fortunate that he can do the things that he does. Like, he knows all of his colors. He knows all of his letters, uppercase and lowercase. He knows all of his numbers.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, he's extremely intelligent. But as he gets older, though, I think the thing... And I don't want to sound unfortunate because we're very fortunate. I think as a mom, though, he struggles so bad in the emotional part. Mm-hmm. And that's when he can't communicate emotion, that's when the behavior comes out, like the head slamming. That's his new thing. He slams his head back on the wall, or he'll slam his head forward.
Oh my God.
And I remember we went to breakfast, and she doesn't do well with little change, Travis. Let alone big change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
big change for Michael is, no.
Yeah. So, I know for Travis, the one thing his therapist has told us is to prompt him for any change.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to take our shoes off because we just came home from school and we walked outside. So, now we're going to take them off because they're dirty. Stuff like that. So, when we took him out... me, Justin, his mom, and we took the kids out to breakfast, and for some reason the adult food came out before the kid food, and Justin's mom was sharing some eggs with Travis off her plate, and Travis's and the kids' food came, and Travis also had eggs. He had the same exact thing, but she slid her plate. Maybe there was a 10-second delay until his came, and he lost it. I guess he just wasn't understanding. Because at first I thought, you get to, I don't know, for you, I know what, it's because he's still 3, so he has a temper, as any 3-year-old.
Yeah.
But I know, I'm sure you can differentiate between that and, the behavior that comes with an overstimulation or, a lack of ability to tell you how they feel.
Yep.
So that's how we were sitting there, and he, his face turned bright red, he screamed. Dude, he scratched from his hairline down to his chin. Oh my God. He was clawing at his eyes. I was like, oh my God. I took him outside and squeezed him. It probably took 5, maybe 10 minutes for him to calm down. And then once we went back in, he was he now baby babbles a lot. So he was just walking in chipper baby babbling. It came and it went, and then he ate his eggs.
And then he was fine.
And it was fine. But it was just that little thing. He's hold on. What's going, why are you doing this? What's happening here? And he's a chunky monkey. My baby likes his food. So, you just gotta, you gotta give him a warning.
Which is, another difference between them, because Travis is, so chunky, and then, Michael's literally just this, long, lean.
Yeah.
He's so tiny. My soon-to-be 3-year-old, he'll be 3 on Monday, is bigger than Michael.
Yeah.
They wear the same size clothes. Michael's just taller than him.
Yeah. But one isn't, 5'T"?
5 and 6.
Yeah. Travis isn't 5T.
But yeah, Finn Michael can still fit in 3T.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I have to get him like 5, I guess more so 5T for length, yeah.
Yeah.
But I have put him in some 6 stuff, like some of the
that
girls like neutral like t-shirts he's worn, they're big on him though.
Yeah, Travis has another one of his is oral sensory.
Oh my god.
So everything goes in his mouth. And when he'll eat and so fast, like until he vomits.
Michael went through like a point where he would like literally have to put everything in his mouth, even a toy.
Yes.
Like just to see what it would feel like, and then he would start playing with it. I'm like, but with transitioning, like his last year, you remember this, him transitioning from preschool to full day kindergarten. That's when we took the biggest toll for behavior, like because he did have behavior issues. Mm-hmm. It was never anything that wasn't consolable.
That was inconsolable.
It wasn't anything that was inconsolable. I mean, did we have our days where things were? Yes, because that's how like kids can be. And at this point, so he just turned 6, so that's like anywhere between 2 and 4, like those like tantrums / like overstimulations. But then going into kindergarten, whole new issue of like self-harming to where he would bite himself. He was biting me. At one point, I remember I literally had bruises like all down my arms. You remember that? Like literally bruises and cuts because he would hurt himself and he would hurt me. I was the only other person. Thank God that he didn't hurt like anyone in school or his siblings. And it was so hard to like force him to go on that bus and force him to go to school. And it was just such a big difference. Like just a huge transition for him. It was almost unbearable, but we made it through. So I'm like, thank God. But I feel like it has also helped him transition better.
Yeah.
Like going through that rough patch and just knowing that like mommy's here, you're going to be okay. And all the verbal prompting. Oh my goodness. But now I can start to tell like more. Like I feel like I'm more confident. Like, yeah, he's just mad that he's not getting his way now. Where more so like, okay, what's overstimulating? And I feel like he doesn't have a lot of overstimulating meltdowns. Like within the past, I would say like 8 months. Like he still has days.
I know, but I feel like being tired plays a huge part.
Tired and hungry.
Yes,
I noticed Michael, and I get it because I get hangry. Like as soon as
100%. Okay. Mama, don't miss a meal, okay?
Yeah, like no, thank you. But yeah, I feel like it's just you get to know your child, you get to know his moods, and one of the greatest things I'm grateful for is he is still nonverbal, but we finally established a way to communicate with him through his body language, and he'll take us, and we know he understands us, maybe not in a neurotypical way, but he understands us to the best way that he can.
Sure.
As in like, okay, buddy, do you need juice? And he'll just look at you, and he'll like look in eye contact, and when he makes eye contact with me, I'm like, okay, that's yes. Like I know that's a yes.
Yes.
Or I'll say, show me, bud. And that's how we started our communication. And I really just want to stress, if anyone listening is going through anything similar, or you just received your child's diagnosis, like please reach out. You're not alone, because that was one of the biggest things. I felt so alone in this. Yeah. I thankfully had a girl I went to high school with that reached out to me, because her son is also on the spectrum. So I would ask her 10,000 questions. And if you're listening, I am truly grateful for you. But don't ever think you're alone. Please reach out, because it's scary.
It's scary. It's and I think that like I remember going through the mom guilt of feeling terrible for feeling scared, but it's scary. I mean, it's like I had a coworker who he speaks openly about his son having autism, and I called him when after I talked to you. Obviously, I'm fortunate that you went through it first because I had you. And I spoke to him because his son was also very young, about Travis's age. And it's just those people, you and other people that go before you that experience it, are like truly lifesavers. And I think it's super important to note, like, at least to be transparent, I get fucking frustrated. I understand that it's his diagnosis, but the fact of the matter is, it can be frustrating. Like, and feel like that's okay. Like, it's not like an abusive thing, or it's not like whatever, but it's okay to say, hey, I understand it's neither of ours fault, but I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
Like,
and I
there's
feel like
no harm in that.
when I get frustrated, and I hope no holy rollers get mad at me, I feel like I'll get more frustrated with God.
Yeah,
and just
of
be
course.
like, why? And why is this happening?
Yeah.
And what leads to my frustration is feeling defeated as a mom, just not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate to where we don't really have many of those moments anymore. Hold on, I'm all over the place right now, because I think another thing is to help accept the diagnosis, and not to say, like, I don't know, did that sound rude?
No, it's I think there's a period of, and I think there's a period of mourning.
I was gonna say, you have to accept that it's okay to accept that you're grieving. Like, I thought we were gonna have this life with Michael, and in reality, could Michael start speaking and doing all these things neurotypically? Possibly. I mean, anything is possible. But if he is how he is now, there's a good chance that he will need care forever. So that is what I'm mourning who I thought that my son was going to be, and mourning his safety and his well-being. And shout out to his sisters. And I know Finn's going to protect him, because, like, Finn can already tell.
Yeah.
Like, he knows, like, when Michael's freaking out, like, and he'll go over and, like, rub his back. And I think it's very important to be open if you have other children, because I just openly, like, the girl, like, Avon's older, so she would say, well, why does Michael get to do this, but we're not allowed? And I just tell her the truth. I'm like, Michael does not necessarily think the way that you think. Is that how we would explain autism, or? Yeah,
I explained that to Dalton, that, and also shout out to Dalton too, because I think that they're finally understanding each other. Like, again, like, Travis will communicate, I want cup, I want, but not, I want to play with you, or can I have a turn, or anything like that. We're like, why does all that kind of stuff?
Michael's way of, like, being, he wants to play, he'll either, like, come up to you and be like, hey, blah, 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 like, with a toy, or now he starts to, like, pull hair.
Does he?
Yeah, and he'll be like yank your hair. I was like,
Travis will go and Travis goes 2 hands and takes Dalton and throws him.
Yeah, like, I want to play.
Yeah, he wants to play. Yes. And he laughs, like, because that's how you know, like, he's not
yes, and that's what Michael's doing. He's, like, cracking up. I'm like, dude, well, you know it happened. Didn't he, like, pull the twins' hair? I think when I was here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, he just wants to play with them.
Yeah. No, it's how they figure. I don't know. It's really cool, and definitely shout out to the older siblings, because now.
Oh God.
Are you okay? Did you reach into the face?
Can I take this real quick? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hung up. Okay. That just scared the shit out of me.
Oh my God, your face was great. And I think, because there was, getting to the point of older siblings, it was definitely weird for Dalton, because he was like, well, he definitely bonded closer to Wyatt quicker, because Wyatt hit milestones faster and communicates, like, more, like, I don't want to say normally, but he communicates in the way that Dalton communicates, so, you know, they whatever. But now Dalton, like, I would just explain it, Travis just thinks different, and he plays different, and you know, sometimes he's like, well, I want to play with Travis, but I don't think Travis wants to play with me. I said, well, honey, I'm sure he does want to play with you,
but he can't. That's one thing too that I noticed, that by the book, The Reason Why I Jump,
yes,
by the way, because that's what's going to make me think that. In that book, he states that he does want to play, but he can't, because the person who wrote, he's an adult now, but he's nonverbal too. Mm-hmm. And that broke my heart, thinking, like, all these things that I thought maybe Michael wanted to play, and I just didn't know that because he wasn't able to tell me that.
That is a really, really good book. Really, really good. I highly recommend that book. Mercer recommended it to me, and I read it. But, yeah, and I think it's cool. I know what you were saying, Bryn. So Bryn and Ava are protective of Michael. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I hope Dalton is, too. I call my kids a AAA. Dalton is ADHD. Wyatt has an attitude. Travis is autism.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, Wyatt is the protector of the two of them. Wyatt and Travis are the twins. Wyatt knows. And it's kind of cool because Travis doesn't ever have to really say much or cry much. But if, before Travis, he says Binky now, but before he could say Binky, he would scream. And he would, like, cry and, like, be flustered. And Wyatt audibly would just, like, Travis do, he goes, I got it, bud. And he'll hand him his Binky. Like, it's so cool. Like, Wyatt, he takes care of him. There was an instance.
Oh, my God.
There's an instance. I know. There was an instance at daycare where I think Travis technically was in the wrong. But Travis just went up. This kid was playing with something. I guess whatever. He just goes and he takes it because he wants to play with it. And the kid pushed him, Travis. So the teacher said Wyatt was across the room, and he just literally must have caught it out of his peripheral. So he went over, shoved the kid to the ground, and just walked right back, and just continue what he was doing. The teacher was like, I don't even know what to do. Like, he just like don't mess with his brother.
No, don't.
But how do you take care of you, like, as a mom? Like, are you good at giving yourself grace? Are you good at just deep breathing it and just saying it's gonna be okay? Like, because it's not easy. And I know that while both of our kids have it, I'm very fortunate where Travis has more words in his word bank. So, like,
I think for me, yeah, honestly, I rarely get frustrated, to be completely honest. And I think in the beginning I did. I mean, in the beginning when I didn't understand it, I was also pregnant with Finn, so I was crazy hormonal. Like, it was a lot of fucking emotions on my end as well. And like I said, I was so frustrated in the beginning because ultimately I felt like a failure. And I feel like as a mom, that's like one of the worst feelings. Like, I would sob.
I remember feeling like it was my fault. Like, what if I had read to him more?
Yeah, like, that's what I thought too, because I already had an older one and they were twins. I'm like, I didn't do this enough. I didn't do that enough. Like, I should have been more attentive to him. I should have listened to the doctors at 18 months and got him evaluated. Like, all these things that I blamed myself for. But now, no, I don't. Like, he breaks shit. Like, things will happen. Yeah. Sometimes it's sensory overload. Like, people might think this is TMI, but he'll, like, smear his poop. And it doesn't faze me. It really doesn't faze me. Like, I will have moments I'll be like, this isn't great.
Like, this is fun.
This is hard. But I rather be upset and say this is hard than get frustrated for me, because it's not going to change it. So why am I going to, like, wallow in anger? Yeah. And another thing I do, too, is I really try to talk to Michael through it. Because before, like, if I got angry, and I don't want him to see me angry, because then that's when I would notice that would set him off. Right. And then he would start headbanging or something, because he knew, like, oh, I did something wrong. Like, Mom doesn't like this. And I also read that in The Reason Why I Jump. There's a few chapters on that, like, just watch, like, your tone, how you talk, and yada yada. But really just support. Yeah. Like, talking to you about it, my mom, Mike, and really just giving it to God. I think really just letting go of the control, because I can't control it. All I can do is go into Michael's world, because it's difficult for him to come into my neurotypical world.
I think that's where the frustration for me can play, is when I expect him to be operating in my world, where it's like, no.
You have to, like, be mindful, like, I have to go in his world, which, by the way, he has opened my heart and taught me to appreciate the little things in life so much more than I can fathom still to this day. Like, he will literally pick up a leaf and just watch it and like he'll literally go like this with it and just watch it, and then he'll like turn it, then he'll like lift it up to the sun, and like the way he moves so softly with it and really just super over analyzes this leaf and appreciates everything about that leaf.
Yeah.
And it's made me like, I don't know, I feel like it's opened my heart more to just
100%.
really like look all around you. Look how beautiful life is around you. And that's what he notices. And here we are like, oh, I want the latest cell phone, or the kids want the latest toys. And here you can give him a fucking pine cone and he is the happiest kid in the world.
Travis smiles and he as if he's talking to it. And like the one thing Travis loves is the wind.
Yes.
And like he likes to, he'll go, or even if
water doesn't he like water too?
Water. Obsessed with
like
water.
all the earth elements. Like I feel like water, fire. He like, oh my god, like fire too. And like I mean, we like get away from it. The smoke, the way he like turned his head and watched the smoke, and I'm like,
Travis loves when if we have a fire outside. He'll sit and he just has his binky and he just
like appreciates all of it.
It's so true. I think I guess to kind of wrap it up a little, I think what I can say to take away that helped me in the beginning, because now that we're like a little bit into it, now I see where kind of Travis has progressed. But I think when you start this process, everyone is in the same boat. You don't know what the hell is going to happen.
No.
So I think the most important thing for me, and that my coworker had told me too, that I already said, is go through the grieving process, because it is a grieving process.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier, and I was like fumbling over my words.
No, it's and I think it's so necessary, because for us, we've been blessed. We have kids before our boys with autism, so I think it's human nature to expect the next pregnancies and the next child growth to go just like the one before.
And do not compare. Do not compare, like. Because this spectrum is so massive.
Yes.
Every like, what's that one quote? If you met one person with autism, you only met one person with autism.
It's
I got body chills with that.
So just that's my recommendation. Make sure you let yourself feel the feels in the beginning, because once I let myself, at least speaking for myself, once I let myself do that and go through it and just say, oh, yes. Am I frustrated? Yes. Am I sad? Of course. And went through all of it. Once that passed, I felt like I could show up for Travis. Yeah. Because now, like, I've accepted that whatever reality I thought we were going to have is not going to be that. Mm-hmm. And now we need to step into this new one together. And I'm very fortunate that Justin educated himself. My mom educated herself. And honestly, I don't know if I feel like Travis is like a family favorite. Like, everyone just kind of loves a little extra on Travis. So we're very lucky. We have a very understanding family. For the most part, I think the diagnosis, the name freaks some family members out. Mm-hmm. And I think it's hard, just like a select few. And it's not ignorance. It's just
the unknown.
Wrapping your head around the fact, like, okay, like one family member is like, I call his name like 6 times, and they're like, why isn't he answering me? I'm like, he has autism. And they tell me to stop saying that. And I think it's hard. It's an older family member, so I think it's hard, but it's not.
Especially because
but it's not rejection.
I was going to say, like, like years ago, it wasn't as, as common, I guess, now. Yeah. I feel like now.
It's definitely more. It's more common.
More awareness, like, too. Yeah. Like, it was kind of closed off. Like, people didn't really talk much about it. And I feel like now it's more out in the open. That was one thing, too. I know this episode is going to be so long. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's important, near and dear to both of us.
I didn't want to talk about it either at first. Because not that I was embarrassed of Michael. I was so fearful of how people would take it and what they would say about him and Mama Bear.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a Mama Bear. And Michael gets extra Mama Bear.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Like, I'm just, and that, like, even though, like, your 30th was the first time that I took him out of his zone of what he's used to, like, because we have, like, a select few, like, family members that's the only houses we would take Michael to. And we've been invited to, like, friend functions, but we were always so scared to, like, take him. And now we're like, you know what? it is what it is, and hopefully people are understanding so we don't have to throw down.
Yeah.
But at your 30th, I was just like,
that was really cool. Michael came to my mom's house, and he did great.
He did. Your family, oh my God, your parents and Jimmy, like everyone was just so good with him, and he was allowed to go upstairs and have his like, quiet time. Space.
So I think that, I don't know, to kind of conclude a little bit.
Yeah, sorry.
No. Just, when you go through it, just, you see inspirational memes and awesome quotes, and I'm so thankful for them, because the community of mothers and fathers and family members with children with autism, the autism itself community is so beautiful and so strong. But at least for myself, I had to remind myself, when I first found out and read some inspirational stuff, I wasn't there yet.
No.
And the people that are coming out with these inspirational things, they too went through the same process that we did. So just know that it's okay. It's a process like anything else. Like hearing, I don't want to say it's not devastating news, but hearing news that you were not ready for.
Yeah. No.
But if you let yourself be human, you're going to be able to show up so much better for them. And the best thing that, like Marissa said, and when Marissa started to do with Michael, it really opened my eyes up with Travis, is go into their world. Like, the frustration comes with expectation of them coming to ours.
Yep.
Where it's so, honestly, I think I'm a much better place to be in theirs.
Oh my God, yeah. So laid back. I tell that to Michael too. I'm like, all right, Michael, man, what do you need for mommy? Like, that's what I do now. I'm like, what? I have to, like, because sometimes I still do get frustrated, you know? Like,
who doesn't? Yeah. They're kids.
Like, I'm like, more so when he's trying to tell me something, because, like, he'll want a snack or whatever, and, like, he can't tell me he wants a snack. And then I'm like, nope, you're right, Michael. Mommy's got to, I'm in Michael's world. What do you need? I'm like, come on, bud. Stop what I'm doing, and boom. We just get it done now.
God, he's so damn cute.
But
above all else, make sure you talk to someone and talk freely of how you feel.
Yes.
So, like, there's no right or wrong way. How as a mama and Papa Bears, when we find out, or the caretakers, feel it, embrace it. Don't be scared of how it makes you feel.
Nope.
Talk to other people.
We got you.
Yes. Talk to other people, and then you're gonna be able to show up, man. It's been a frustrating journey, but it's such a freaking cool journey. I literally, Marissa was explaining about how Michael and the leaf, I can see it. And I'm trying to talk about your son and the leaf, and you're over here just cracking the hell up.
I know.
But yeah, so it's been a fun journey. If you're going through it, please definitely reach out to us about it. I love hearing people's stories and how they've grown with their children with autism. I think it's great, and I love reading about it. So please let us know. Let us know your experiences, and let us know about your little ones.
Any tips and tricks.
Yeah, tips and tricks. Like, awesome stories. Like, I just love hearing people that experience things through their children's
and the come up stories too, like where we start. Because I was thinking about that, was because sometimes I can get very upset, like this, more so sad that he's not speaking, like verbally communicating. But I'm like, you know what? There's probably some parents that wish their child was making sounds, or even how we established like our way of communicating through his body language. And like, there's people, I want to celebrate every milestone that he makes.
Yes.
There we go.
But that he makes that any of your kids make. So make sure you reach out. Travis and Michael, we love you so damn much. Boys, you guys are the best.
Yes.
This has been a longer episode, so we can't cut out the dad joke. I'm sorry. It's just,
we can't do it.
It's sacrilegious, so we have to do it. So I have mine. You good to go? All right.
If you see a crime at an Apple store,
oh shit,
are you an eyewitness?
Oh my God! I was thinking something with Mac, and I'm like, Mac.
Are you the Mac man?
I was like, how am I gonna do it? The mac and cheese popped in my head.
Oh, I couldn't fuck with some mac and cheese.
So I think as you know, in grade school I played soccer, right? Mm-hmm. For realsies.
Yeah. Wait, is this a joke?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I did play soccer though. That's
okay.
Real. But if I'm being honest, I didn't really play soccer because I like soccer. I just did it for the kicks.
soccer. I just did it for the kicks. Yo, you fucking threw me off too. You're like, yo, you know I used to play soccer? But for realsies. I'm like, wait, what?
I really did play soccer in grade school. That's the truth.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys for listening to our extra long episode. Thank you. But we'll probably have a part 2 so we can dig in even more.
Yeah, that like barely touched the surface.
Yes.
But I just wanted to touch on topics. So if anyone's going through it, like let us know, reach out. Tell us your stories, tell us your experience, how you get through it, your emotional walk with it. But we love you guys. Make sure you follow us, on Instagram and TikTok, Crazy as a Mother Pod. Listen on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube.
Crazy as a Mother Podcast.
Love you guys.
We
Until
love
next
you.
time.
Like, subscribe, follow, share. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.